Shalom, shalom, Yashar. This is Yermiyah, Yashar Benyahrael, and this is Real Talk. Today's lesson will be dealing with marriage and health. And I'm putting this video together because a lot of us that's in this truth, that's awoke to this truth, we still are functioning like heathens. We are awake to the truth, so we have the spirit of knowledge of who we are, our ethnic background, our lineage, our bloodline, our forefathers. No more blind to the African American concept of who we are, but awakened to the Hebraic understanding that we come from the line of Shem through Eber, through Abraham, through Isaac, through Jacob, through the 12 sons. And that's a blessing to have that understanding. It's a privilege to be awoken to your heritage. Welcome into the family. Now, where do we go from here? Do we still operate like we did when we was in the church? Because many ox or mores, priests, teachers are teaching about biblical things, dealing with the scriptures on how to pay tithes, how to put on garbs, women covering their hair, that the white man is the devil, Babylon is going to fall, about the feast days, about Shabbat, about the new moons, but no one is really, except for a few. Benyahrael's camp has successfully built a vegan empire. They have successfully built a vegan empire. I'm going to take it a little step further than just being clean through eating clean foods. I'm also going to give you proof of why eating meat was not ordained by the Most High through scriptures, and we're going to go over some of the documentaries that I have listed that everyone needs to see. Everyone that's consciously awake to this truth or consciously awake to your health need to watch these documentaries. I want to first start off with a prayer. Give thanks to the Almighty. Praise be unto you, Yahweh, for you are above all things, and all things were made by you and through you. And besides you, there is no creator other than the one you created, which is Yahusha, Yahawashah, Yah salvation, who you created, and he, mimicking you, went on to create things. For everything that was made for him and by him, and nothing was made without him. For he was in the beginning, and he is the beginning of your first creation. Praise be unto you, Abba Yahweh, in the name of your Son, Yahawashah, Yahusha, Yah, salvation, unto the nation of YOSHSHAALIA, YOSHSHAALIA, Israel, for you, eternal one of our father Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, you alone deserve all glory, honor, and praise. We give thanks, the water, for your Son, our King, Yahusha, Yahawashah, Yasha, Yahushua for sacrificing himself and shedding his blood for the remission of our sins. We thank you for Father Abraham, for being the father that he was, that you looked upon him and chose through him to bring forth a righteous seed. We give thanks, the water, unto you for the mother who bare the Son and brought our salvation into this world. The handmaiden, the virgin, Mother Miriam, and for all of our prophets, Moses, Joshua, all the prophets, all the messengers, all the righteous men of YOSHSHAALIA, Israel, all the righteous women, Rebecca, Esther, Ruth, Mother Sarah. Praise be unto you for them, for you created them and gave them wisdom and knowledge. Thank you for water for wisdom, for she is my sister, and I call her my sister. And I ask that wisdom be with me right now, and the Ruach dwell with me, and peace and love and all the righteous spirits. I call upon you in the name of Yahushua. Hallelujah. So let it be as it was said, so let it be done. Praise Yahweh. Now I want to get into the scriptures. And we're going to the book of Genesis. Genesis chapter 1, starting at verse 11. Then Yahweh said, let the earth sprout vegetation, plants yielding seed, and fruit trees bearing fruit after their kind, with seed in them on the earth. And it was so. Verse 12. And the earth brought forth vegetation, plants yielding seed after their kind, and trees bearing fruit with seeds in them after their kind. And Yahweh saw that it was good. Note, he created vegetation, plants yielding seed. He created trees that bear all types of fruit with seed in them. So no vegetation, no plants that he made did not bear seeds. No fruit trees that he made did not bear seeds. Anything that does not bear seeds did not come from Yahweh, did not come from Yahushua. It is from another entity. It is from somewhere else. Let's jump down to verse 29. Then Yahweh said, behold, I have given you every plant yielding seed that is on the surface of all the earth, and every tree which has fruit yielding seed. Let me read that again. Then Yahweh said, behold, I have given you every plant yielding seed that is on the surface of all the earth, and every tree which has fruit yielding seed, it shall be food for you, and to every beast of the earth, and to every bird of the sky, and to everything that moves on the earth, which has life. I have given every green plant for food, and it was so. So Yahweh and Yahushua, who, when they decided to make this planet, decided to give us vegetation and plant life, living organisms, living food that yields seeds. Nothing was made without seed that he gave us to eat. And it was ordained that man and beast and fowl will eat of this. Let's go to the book of Daniel, chapter 1. Daniel, chapter 1. And we're going to start at verse, I believe verse 9. Daniel chapter 1, and I'm starting at verse 9. Now Yahweh granted Daniel favor and compassion in the sight of the commander of the officials. Verse 10. And the commander of the officials said to Daniel, I am afraid of my master, the king, who has appointed your food and your drink. For why should he see your face looking more haggard than the youths who are your own age? Then you would make me forfeit my head to the king. But Daniel said to the overseer, whom the commander of the officials had appointed over Daniel, Hananiah, Mishael, and Azariah, please test your servant for 10 days. And let us be given some vegetables to eat and water to drink. Let me go ahead and say that again, verse 12. Please test your servants for 10 days, and let us be given some vegetables to eat and water to drink. Verse 13 of Daniel chapter 1. Then let our appearance be observed in your presence, and the appearance of the youths who are eating the king's choice food, and deal with your servants according to what you see. So he listened to them in this matter and tested them for 10 days. And at the end of 10 days, their appearance seemed better, and they were fatter than all the youths who had been eating the king's choice food. So the overseer continued with withholding their choice food and the wine they were to drink, and kept giving them vegetables. So what you got going on here is Daniel convinced the official, the officer, the overseer that was over him, and Hananiah and Azariah, not to give them any of the king's food, but just give them lentil, because that's what it was, lentil beans, vegetables, and water. And after the 10 days, they were fatter, meaning healthier, and they looked better in appearance than the men who ate the choice food of the king. So that tells you right there, by eating vegetables and drinking water, it showed a difference in their health in just 10 days. It tells you a lot. I'll tell you a whole lot. More than what most people want to tell you. Now let me go to, I want to talk a little bit about a man by the name of Dr. Gershom. Dr. Gershom, and for those of you who are against, anybody that's not of brown skin and of Israel, I understand that completely, and I have no arguments on how you perceive things or how you want to perceive things, but Dr. Gershom was allowed by Yahweh to receive information so that it would be on this earth somewhere down the line that we will be able to receive this information and understand how to heal ourselves. So he uses everybody for whatever purposes he uses them for. So Dr. Gershom was someone who came up with the theory on cancer, on how to cure cancer and every other type of disease. There is a documentary that talks about Dr. Gershom called The Beautiful Truth. Once again, it's called The Beautiful Truth or Beautiful Truth. You can find it on Netflix. July 1946, Lloyd Pepper, senator, held a sub-Senate hearing over Dr. Gershom's theory on cancer. And it was reported by Raymond Aram. It was reported by Raymond Aram, Raymond Aram Swin on ABC Radio. Swin was fired later for this broadcast. So Dr. Gershom went on ABC Radio that was hosted by Raymond Aram Swin and talked about his cancer theory. They had a sub-Senate hearing about Dr. Gershom because of his theory on cancer and how to cure it. all the way back to 1946. So don't believe that the cures for curing diseases are something new. I mean, hiding the truth about how to cure cancer and diseases is something new. They've been doing this all the way back as far as it can go. You know, I'm trying to suppress the truth on how to heal yourself naturally. So Dr. Gershom subsequently ended up dying from an illness. The first time he got sick, he recovered, and while he was sick the first time, someone came and stole his manuscript that he had wrote dealing with his therapy on cancer. And he wrote another one, and before he died, he got sick again, and he tested his blood to find out that he had been poisoned with arsenic. So they definitely did not want this information to get out, and they had him killed. You will hear all this on the documentary called Beautiful Truth, The Beautiful Truth or Beautiful Truth. And there's a book called Nutrients and Physical Degeneration by Winston, Weston A. Price. It's a good book you need to get and read. If you can get it online and you get it for free, try to get it for free. If not, buy it, read it, understand it. There's a documentary called Vegucated, Vegucated, on Netflix. You need to see that video. Frankensteer is a video that all of the meat eaters need to see. And not only do you need to see that video, you need to also see the video that deals with the silicone that they're putting in the meat. They're putting silicone inside of meat. They take the scraps of the meat and they use silicone that we think is gristle to hold the meat together. And they package it as steak or whatever, sirloin steak or whatever, and we buy it and eat it. And what they're using as what's supposed to be gristle is banned in almost every country, but not here. The other documentary you need to see is Save the Farm. Venice, Monster Inside of Me, Pig Bomb, which is something for those of you who believe in staying here in this country and living off the land in the wilderness here in the mountains. You need to watch Pig Bomb, and you need to watch it and understand that this is not a place for you to be able to survive there and wait until the Messiah come back. It's not going to work for you. Not just because of the epidemic of thousands and thousands of wild pigs running all loose over the United States, but also because of the doomsday preppers who are mostly Caucasian men with their families with millions and millions and millions and millions of pounds of rounds and thousands of weapons and ammunition that they can use to kill you off. Because you're not one of them, and they're going to protect their family, and they want to get away from you anyway because of the color of your skin. So it's not going to be a place of safety for you. And on top of that, you have thousands and thousands and thousands of wild pigs that have been as crossbred between a wild boar from Russia and a domesticated pig here. And these things grow to anywhere between 500 pounds to 1,500 pounds or even more. So, and they're very dangerous, and they will attack people. And when you watch this documentary called Pig Bomb, you will see exactly what I'm talking about. How much of a problem this is in the United States that most people don't know about. There's a documentary called Food Incorporated, must see. Forks Over Knives, must see. Food Matters, must see. Farmageddon, Farmageddon, must see. And Beautiful Truth or The Beautiful Truth, must see. Now, why is it very important to understand what meat does to you? Because many of us who used to eat meat and no longer eat meat can testify that we feel 100% better physically, mentally, and spiritually. When I cut meat out my body, when I have a bowel movement, taking out the excrements out of my body, there's barely no smell. I barely pass gas. And I'm just going to keep it real. We are human beings. I barely have gas. I mean, I might have gas maybe twice a month, maybe 3 times a month. I have no real smell when I go to the bathroom. You know, some people, when they go use the bathroom to push out excrements, they can light the whole house up. Incense, candles, air sprays can't do nothing. Will light the whole house up. So let it be a bathroom. You have a bathroom in the hallway inside of your house, downstairs, or in the living room and kitchen, and somebody go use the bathroom. And when they come out and that door open, it smells like somebody died up in there. My mother, who is now resting with her forefathers, she passed away from cancer. And there's nothing that at the time we could do. I wasn't educated as I am now in fighting cancer and the therapies on cancer. So she went to go sleep with her fathers. Praise Yah that she came into the truth before she passed away, but she could have been saved. And one of the telltale signs of her having a problem was when she went to the bathroom. When my mother would go to the bathroom, her excrements would light up the house. If I was in my room in my mother's house, I had a room in my mother's house that was still mine, and if I'm in that room and my mother used the bathroom down the hall, it would come up under the door, even while her door, the bathroom door closed. It would come up under the door and it smelled horrible. And this was going on for many years. But no one ever tied it into her having cancer in the stomach. None of these things came from that meat. So what I'm getting at here is eating meat is not good for you. Why is it not good for you? For one, your pancreas was not designed to push out meat. It was not designed to push out meat. Your pancreas is long. Your pancreas is very long. And it's longer than most animals that eat meat. So when an animal eats meat, it doesn't have that far to go before it's pushed out. But for a human, it has to go all the way through that track. All the way through that track. And while it's going through the track, it's not going through smoothly because a lot of meat do not get digested correctly. So it causes stress inside the walls of the pancreas. And anything that causes stress inside the walls of the pancreas is not good for you. So, like if you eat an apple, or banana, or a pear, or a grape, or vegetables, it goes in, it comes out. But when you eat meat, it's bulky, so it's like this coming down. It's like this coming down, like this coming down. And that means it's stressing the inside of the walls. Instead of coming out and going like this, it's taking longer because the intestinal is very long before it can come out of your body. It got to go through all that, bumping and rubbing and pushing and stressing. It's not good for us. It will slow down and shut down our immune system. That's what it does. It causes our immune system to shut down. so that we cannot fight diseases. One more thing about meat. When any animal dies, any human dies, the way the Yahweh designed us, he put inside of our flesh that we cannot see is larvae inside of our flesh. Dermot is dermot. Larvae inside of our flesh. When we die, these larvae come alive because they're only designed to come alive or to wake up when the host is dead. So when it comes alive, what it does, it eats up the flesh, the muscles, the ligament, and scrapes the bone. So that's what the job of this larvae, which is maggots, that's the job of it. It never comes alive only when the host is dead. So when you eat meat, when that cow, that pig, that whatever dies, those maggots come alive. Even though you cannot see them, you're eating maggots. And you're consuming them in your body, and it's not supposed to be in your body. The type of parasites we have in our body that are good for us, we have them, but when you put parasites that are not meant to be in your body, it causes problems. These parasites are physical, living organisms. Like all living organisms, they eat, and then they pass out excrements, which is causing the yeast, which is causing infections, which is causing cancer, diabetes, kidney failure, liver failure, etc., etc. It's causing mucus to be all up in you. And this is what happens when you eat meat. We were not designed to eat meat. We were designed to eat vegetation and fruits and herbs. Our teeth are not even designed to chew meat. Now, on to my next point of why you should not eat meat. On top of all that, that should be enough, but for some, Hebrews is not. So, for those that need some more reasons to not eat meat, the documentary called Frankenstein will show and prove that majority of the meat industries, the cattle industries, the plantations or the plants that produce the meat for America, that these Frankensteins, they call them, these cows, these cattle, are no longer chewing the cud. The law in Leviticus, for all you who want to justify, why you eat flesh, and that, you can eat cows, and, okay, well, we're going to look at the law in Leviticus concerning eating meat. Now, I'm going to tell you, I used to eat meat. And as time went on, I started switching up on eating meat. I would eat more chicken, a whole lot of fish. As I got older in my mid-teens, I mainly was a fish and chicken eater. Loved salads. My mother used to eat salads all the time, so I grew up on, and I had old school parents. My dad was 62 years old when I was created. From when I came out of his body into my mother's body, my daddy was 62 years old. So he was a 62-year-old man still making children, and I'm the last one that I know of. Anyway, the laws about animals for food. And we're going to just go to verse 4. Nevertheless, you are not to eat of these animals those which chew the cud, or among those which divide the hoof, the camel, for though it chews the cud, it does not divide the hoof, it is unclean to you. Likewise, the rock badger, for though it chews the cud, it does not divide the hoof, it is unclean to you. So it goes on to explain all of the animals that you should not eat. Everybody has read this. Now it says that verse 9, these you may eat. Whatever is in the water, all that have fins and scales, those that are in the water, in the sea, or in the rivers, you may eat. So it tells you about those type of animals that you can eat. When you go to verse 1 of chapter 11, it says, the Most High, the Master, spoke unto Moses, and Haran, Aaron, saying to them, speak to the sons of YOSHSHAALIA, or YOSHSHAALIA, or Israel, however way you speak it, saying, these are the creatures which you may eat from all the animals that are on the earth, whatever divides a hoof, thus making split hoofs, and chews the cud among the animals you may eat. So anything that don't chew the cud, anything that didn't have fins on it and scales, you were not supposed to eat. You were not permitted to eat. Now, for all you who make the argument about, well, there's nothing wrong with eating meat, and all you vegans look down on us, no, I don't look down on anyone. And I know that in the writings of Paul, he talks about those who were vegetarians or vegans who looked down upon those who ate meat. He was talking about them being high-minded. And it's not being high-minded when you're trying to reach your people and explain to them that the meat that you're eating is from an animal that no longer chews the cud. Because the meat that you're eating from these meat industries, they're feeding these cattle meat. And not only are they just feeding them meat, they're feeding them animals that died on their farms or on the plant, the meat plant. And it's any animal that dies, whether it's a cow, a chicken, a pig, a horse, a dog. They take it and they grind it up in a grinder, and you're going to see it in the documentary called Frankenstein. They grind it up, fish, and they feed it in the feed to the cattle, which they slaughter, put it and send it to the markets, and are put on your shelves inside of your Acme, inside of your green grocers, or wherever you find hamburger, steaks, or any type of beef product. You find them, and most of them, 90% of them in your regular supermarkets in your community, buy their food, buy their meat from these industries that feed their cows meat. You have no argument after that. No argument after that, because if it does not chew the cud, you're not supposed to eat it. And it's being fed animals that is abomination unto you to eat. So how you going to eat a hamburger from a cow that ate a pig? Now let's get to my other point. China recently came out with, they have a way of turning pork into beef. Turning pork into beef. How in the world can we condone eating meat? I mean, I really want to know, how can we condone it? China has just come out and confirmed that they can turn pork into beef. And You're going to tell me that that's okay too? I'm pulling it up right now. That's what I'm doing. I'm pulling up so that you can, I can read it to you. So that you understand that, you know, we have a very serious problem going on. And you can't justify it by saying that, well, you're praying with your food, because that's what the Christians would tell you, saying they say the same thing. You know, the Christians will say, well, I pray with my pork, I pray with my shrimps and lobsters. Okay, I'm going to read the article now. Okay. Chinese beef extracts turns pork into beef in just 90 minutes. The Chinese Department of Industry and Commerce has recently discovered a beef extract additive used by small restaurants around Heilongjiang to turn pork into beef. A lot of knockoff have come out of China over the years. In fact, they've probably made replicas of every successful product ever made. That's not to say the Chinese don't make original stuff as well, but their talent replicating pretty much anything is legendary. That being said, I have never heard of Chinese food replicas until a few months ago when I watched a news report about a guy making completely artificial eggs using chemicals right in his own home-made laboratory. Today, as I was surfing the interwebs, I came across an even stranger article about beef extracts additives that turns pork into beef in just 1.5 hours. This magical product has apparently become very popular in small Chinese restaurants in Heilongjiang, Fuji, and other places around the country. Especially since beef is twice as expensive as pork. A pound of beef is sold for about 20 yen, whereas pork costs just 10 yen. So some restaurant owners are inclined to buy a liter of beef extracts for 45 yen and use it to maximize profits. After rumors of the additive spreading around China, a reporter managed to get his hands on a bottle of it and decided to document its effect in a photo report. He found the stuff really works, and that after 90 minutes of pouring it over a piece of pork, it already looks and smells like cooked beef. The meat changes color and becomes darker, and the reporter claims there's no sensible difference between real beef and the counterfeit version. While it does put money in the pockets of restaurant owners, doctors say long-term use of the additive has serious consequences, including deformities and cancer. And they show pictures of this. And I just pulled this up on the net. And one of the things that I'm trying to explain to a lot of you ox who continually want to promote unhealthy living, because a lot of you ox I see, you might look at me, and I'm gonna tell you right now, I weigh about maybe 174 pounds, maybe 170. So y'all, that's a lightweight. But I was just at 180, 189, between 185 and 189 about maybe a month ago. And I went on a fast. Me and my Isha went on a fast, and I jog a lot. But I've been working out. I'm working out with two DVDs. One by Sean with that extreme workout, and with Tazadaki, bro, from North Carolina, who's from New York, from Tazadaki, his workout videos that he had, building up the core and learning how to do MMA moves. I know a little bit about the MMA moves. I know how to box because I used to box as a child when I was younger. So I've been conditioning my body because I'm not trying to be a huge man. I don't need to be a huge man. As long as I am strong, physically, mentally, and spiritually, and my body is pure, that's all that matters. So I see some of you ops, and you are big and huge, but you're not healthy. How many of y'all can actually run 11 miles without stopping? How about 5 miles? Back and forth. Run for maybe 2 hours. Do more than a half a lap. We ought to condition our minds, our body, and definitely, most importantly, our spirits. We ought to usher in the Ruach, which brings me to my next verse. 2 Corinthians 6 and 17. Second Corinthians 6 and 17. And it reads, "Therefore come out from their midst, and be a separate, says the Master, and do not touch what is unclean. And I will welcome you, and I will be a father to you, and you shall be sons and daughters to me, says the Master Almighty." He says, therefore, come out. But let us go back to verse 16. Let's go to the end of 16. "I will dwell in them and walk among them, and I will be their Elohim, and they shall be my people. Therefore, come out from their midst and be separate, says the Master, and do not touch what is unclean, and I will welcome you, and I will be a father to you, and you shall be sons and daughters to me, says the Master Almighty." So he tells us to come out of her and touch no unclean thing. And he will be a father unto us. He will be a father unto us. Now, let's look at 1 Corinthians chapter 6. And let's start at verse 15. "Do you not know that your bodies are members of Messiah? Shall I then take the members of Messiah and make them the members of a harlot? May it never be. Or do you not know that the one who joins himself to a harlot is one with her? For he says, the two will become one flesh. But the one who joins himself to the Master is one spirit with him." Let me read verse 17 again. "But the one who joins himself, connect to the Most High, is one spirit with him." Verse 18, "Flee immortality." "Flee immorality. Every other sin that a man commits is outside of the body, but the immoral man sins against his own body. Or do you not know that your body is a temple of the set-apart Ruach who is in you, whom you have from Yahweh, and that you are not your own?" Now, this ties in with 2, 3, 4, 5 things. 1, you marry someone, your Isha is a whore. She's out there sleeping with everybody out there. You married this woman, you are one in flesh with her, and you're one with the Most High. You're dragging that filthiness into the marriage with the Messiah. That's why this video is called Marriage and Health. and get with that. If you connect yourself with a harlot, we know on a physical level, sleeping with some promiscuous woman, nasty woman, will produce STDs. If you sin against your body, it brings on death. A lot of us are walking around with herpes, syphilis, gonorrhea. Some people got STDs and don't even know it because of the sins of the body. It brings on death. That's another reason why you need to abandon meat and take on this vegan life to purify your blood, to push all those impurities out of you and get those parasites out of you and get those fungus out of you and that yeast out of you and the mucus out of you, so that you won't have these STDs in you, you won't have this cancer in you, and you won't be plagued by these diseases because of the sins you committed. Because once you come into this truth, you are to clean yourself. The old man is gone. You put on a new man. So that means that you put on a new attitude, a new mind. That means that you follow the law, statute, commandments. That means that, okay, if I live in Babylon, it doesn't mean that I cannot keep the Most High's laws. The only laws I cannot keep are the laws that he said must be kept in Jerusalem and Jerusalem only. I learned that, and I see that that is very true. Because everything that has to be kept in the land where he says to be kept that we can't keep here or we should not keep here is for a reason. So we being obedient, we have to also be obedient when it comes to these laws, all you ox in the scriptures, and thus say the Most High this, and thus say the Most High this, and break this down, and the name is Ayah, and the name is YOSHSHAALIA, and the name is YOSHSHAALIA, and y'all break it down, and you're writing the Aleph Tah, and all these things are beautiful. But it means nothing, because it's all textbook when you're not walking in the Ruach, in truth. And to walk in the Ruach in truth, what did he say? Verse 18, let me read again. Flee immorality. Every other sin that a man commits is outside the body, but the immoral man sins against his own body. Eating meat, eating a cow that just got finished rubbing down on his fellow cow brother and his other farm animals, Mr. Pigley and Barky the dog, and Trixie the horse that happened to pass away because they were too old, ground it up and put it into his meal, and he ate it. Then he gets killed, slaughtered, turned into beef, turned into beef chucks, and turned into beef steaks and hamburger and steaks, and now you grubbing it down all the way he grubbed down, and now it's in your body. Now you're defiled. You're sinning against your body. Verse 19. Or do you not know that your body is a temple? Now, your body is a temple of a set-apart spirit who is in you, whom you have from Yahweh, and that you are not your own. Okay. So if your body is a temple, we know, for those who don't know the laws of Leviticus, dealing with the temple laws, dealing on how you could not come in there. The book of Leviticus, the book of Numbers, Exodus, Deuteronomy, it's all about the laws dealing with purification, dealing with, sacrifice, all these laws of atonement. Now, in order for you to go into the holies of holies, the set apart, their high priest had to be purified with water. He had to be clean. If he had any uncleanness in him, he died. He died. A woman could not come to service. And some of you Akis allow sisters to come to service on their cycle, and I know about it and I heard about it, and that's just, I don't know. I don't understand what y'all doing. I just don't understand what y'all doing. May the Most High be with you, and may He find you flawless, and may He come to you and teach you that is not according to the laws. Okay. If a woman gave birth, she was separated for a certain amount of time. Depending on a male or a female, was separated. If a woman was on her cycle, she was separate for a certain amount of time. If a man had some uncleanness in his body, he was separated. You couldn't go inside the temple. You would die. If you had mold in your house or on your clothes, they would take it to the priest to examine it. And if it could not be eradicated, it was destroyed because it was unclean. You died going inside the temple being unclean. So why, if the body, and the reason why you had to be clean, to clarify this up, is because the set apart spirit dwelt in there. And the Almighty, creator of all things, spirit was in there. He doesn't deal with darkness. He doesn't deal with evil. He doesn't deal with wickedness. He is purified. He is clean. He is set apart. And he will not dwell with filthy and nastiness. And even if you had an animal and you wanted to sacrifice, it had to be perfect. It had to be without spot and blemishes. Even if you was born retarded, born with a disability, you was not allowed to go inside that temple. The spirit would not allow it of anything that was weak or impure or not sound. So if your body is a temple of Yahweh and the spirit dwells in us, then that means that your temple must be purified. Look at what the temple was, how it was designed, and why people died if they went in there unclean. Then apply that to your body being a temple where the Ruach dwells in. How much more should you be clean? How much more should you be clean? How much more? And then, to be with a woman that is unclean, or a woman that's dealing with idols, she's dealing with another type of worshiping other than, worshiping of this truth, and you're connecting your body with her, she's a whore by the fact that she's committing a fornication by dealing with idols. If she's worshiping Buddha, a Hindu, or one of the African gods they got out there, and then you laying with her, you're laying with someone whose spirit is contrary to the Most High Spirit. So to be healthy, you must put in you or have in you the healthy things that maintain your body of purity, so the Ruach. So that means the woman that you got has to be purified, has to be obeying the laws, has to be eating correctly, has to be worshiping and praising correctly, or she's going to contaminate your body. Therefore, the Ruach is going to remove himself from you. That act must be the same way for you sisters, or the Ruach is going to remove himself from you. Because as it says, what do light have to do with darkness? And what do the temple of Baal have to do with the Messiah? What? So if you're eating meat that is defiled and you put it in your body, the Ruach is removing itself from you. If you're eating any type of animal that is defiled, for all you who just eat on the Passover eat meat, make sure next Passover that you make sure you get yourself a yearling without any spot and blemishes, and you know that the mother of this yearling and the mother of that mother of this yearling was grass-fed animals. Do the work, prepare early, so that you won't get caught up. Yes, it's a work in progress, but I'm mainly dealing with the health issues. Dealing with the health issues. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into some antidotes for illnesses, which is inside of this herbal medicine third edition. And I'm gonna go into that on part 2. You have been listening to Yermiyah, YOSHSHAALIA, Benyahrael, and this is Real Talk, Marriage and Health, part 1. Shalom.